When Zim and Gur mysteriously reappear on their lawn after a long absence, a now obese Dib, who has been awaiting their return, confronts the duo. Zim reveals that his disappearance was part of his plan in the form of Phase 1, where Dib would spend most of his time obsessing over Zim and forgetting to take care of himself, which, after some time, made Dib physically unfit to face off against Zim. Zim proceeds to ramble on about Phase 2, but when he actually contacts his almighty tallest, he has completely forgotten what Phase 2 actually is. What follows is a collection of all of the greatest moments from the show combined into one television special-length film that clocks in at a little over an hour long. There are shenanigans, childish pranks, Zim failing, Dib failing, Gur doing Gur things, and more. So this is my review of Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. And I want to talk about the plot first, since, movies and plot and all that other good stuff. Anyway, in terms of story, Enter the Florpus is a solid, familiar tale that fans can find comfort in. The movie feels more like a television special rather than a revival, as though the story is just another episode. I will say that the comedy is absolutely top-notch. It has the same old-fashioned style from the original series, but adds on some more modernized humor as well. This only showed that Zim could, in fact, stand the test of time. There's one line that really got me, and I have no idea why. "You're ugly when you lie, Dib," Zim says. "I'm not lying," Dib replies, to which Zim fires back, "Then why are you ugly?" It is one of the best lines in the whole movie, if not the best line, because it just is so Zim to say. To be honest, I don't have much to say about the plot. It's the same old Invader Zim that we know and love, yet there's something incredibly heartwarming and comforting about that. Now, we really need to talk about the design, because the most I can say about Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus is in regards to its look and aesthetic. The overall design of the film is vibrant and one of a kind. Scenes are crisp, and the rich blend of greens and purples and reds all make for a very powerful presentation. This really shows when the film hits its climax, and, spoiler alert, Zim transports Earth to a faraway place in space. You can see oddly shaped planets in a solar system with colors meshing and colliding in a beautiful mosh pit of shades and tints. The characters are given a new color palette with more powdery colors as well, and that really helps them stand out from the bleak and gritty setting of their world. Another staple of the Invader Zim series that is apparent in this movie is the wide range of emotion that characters can convey. When a character is mad, this becomes overtly obvious. Sometimes characters foaming at the mouth to convey true hatred. Other times characters will be sad and all of their cartoonish features sink downwards. If they're happy, they'll yell and their grins will become impossibly large. Emotion really stands out in this world, where most humans are either dumb, incredibly ignorant, or upset for little to no reason. And in Enter the Florpus, emotion is very abundant, much like the original show. There are many different nods and callbacks to the original series that made me smile and chuckle a bit. They usually came in the form of discarded trash lying around Dib's room or Zim's base, but I still really appreciate seeing them once again in a new format in 2019. My inner fanboy really did lose his mind many times throughout the film. Much like the original show, the art design is a solid mix of hand-drawn and 3D animation, but the transition between the two is smooth and seamless. Honestly, this is some of the best animation work I've seen done on a film in quite a while. Everything just feels so masterfully crafted. Jonan Vasquez is one of the most talented animators I've ever witnessed. He puts fun and creativity before business, and it really shows in his work. He really demonstrates his ability with the opening sequence of the film, where everything kind of takes on an anime tone to summarize everything leading up to this point. But that's it for the design. I really want to talk about the voice acting and how beautiful of a performance they really put on. With such colorful personalities and an incredibly colorful performance, Enter the Florpus would also need to bring back their colorful cast. Going into this movie, I heard a lot of people saying Richard Horvitz's voice was getting weaker in his old age. I went to go see him at a comic convention recently, and despite him saying that Zim was perhaps the most difficult voice for him to do, he doesn't sound bad at all. Richard puts on a really amazing show and hasn't let the years slow him down one bit. Richard sounds as though he has just finished recording the last session of the show and went directly into recording his lines for the movie. Andy Berman as Dib did a phenomenal job as well. He brought Dib's style and personality back without any issues, and it sounds like he had a blast doing so. Roger Bumpus' voice as Professor Membrane is still as dramatic and inquisitive as it was back in 2000, so once again, no complaints there. Melissa Fon also reprises her role as Gaz, and once again, she puts on an amazing, albeit cynical, performance. So, to summarize, everyone involved in the voice work of Enter the Florpus seems to have had an immense passion and had fun while doing the voiceover work for the film, almost as though they missed these roles. Now, let's talk about the soundtrack, and the best way I can describe that is remixed and refined, because the movie brings back all of those original tunes from the show and the charm they had about them, and builds on that amazing atmosphere that they were so good at creating. The music is mysterious and almost ominous a lot of the time, much like Zim himself, always falling just a bit short of world domination or beating Dib for good. Other times the music is fierce and anthem-like, especially when dealing with scenes of the almighty tallest. On the end credits, there's a remix version of the main theme of the original show, and let me tell you, it made my inner child nearly burst out and possess my adult body. So my verdict is this. Invader Zim Enter the Florpus is my favorite animated movie of the year. Could this be due to the massive amounts of nostalgia I've had for the Invader Zim property? Perhaps. But the film by itself has something for everybody. Kids will most certainly enjoy the imagination and wackiness of the world before them, and adults could also enjoy the imagination, creativity, and humor that not many animated films seem to have in the present day. Enter the Florpus didn't try to reinvent the wheel, it didn't try to revive the series, it didn't try to bring something new to the table, it was just Invader Zim, and for that I can't help but love it. The world may have changed since almost 20 years ago, but Zim is still doing his thing, invading not only the fictional Earth, but also our hearts. Go ahead, commence cringe, I have no regrets. Should you see it? Yes. This movie is a must-see for fans of the series and fans of animated films as well. Just go over to Netflix and stream it right now. It is more than deserving of the hour of time it takes to watch. Well, that's all for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment saying that you did, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'd like to apologize for being absent for so long. I had a lot of stuff going on that I had to take care of, but I should be back now. I got a lot of good reviews coming out for you guys, and I got some other stuff I've been working on. I'll make a video talking about that in the near future, but until then, I will see you all again very soon. And as always, take it easy, everyone.